Hi everybody, I'm Donna. And I am a Harley riding bad biker chick, military veteran, girly girl who loves pink! Pink! You heard me right, I said I ride a Harley. And I can remember the first time that I was on a Harley. I was riding on the back with my husband, I felt the wind in my face and that freedom, and I thought, I want to learn how to ride. So one day, my husband decided he was going to teach me how to ride. Lesson number 1, do not, under any circumstances, let someone who is not a trained motorcycle rider coach teach you how to ride a motorcycle. It was a beautiful, warm, and sunny day. And my husband proceeds to give me a whole 5 minutes of instruction on how to ride a motorcycle. And when he's done, I'm more confused than when he first started and a little bit anxious, but I grabbed the handlebars and got ready to take a chance. Then, he hops on the back! Lesson number 2, do not, under any circumstances, ride somebody on the back of your motorcycle until you had at least 6 months to 1 year riding experience. Especially not a 6 foot, 200-pound man that outweighs you 2 to 1. Why? You need to learn how to balance the weight of the bike by yourself. Adding more weight changes the whole center of balance of the bike. So there we are, going around the block a couple of times. My hands are on the handlebars, and so are his. I've convinced myself that I'm in control, but he's really in control. How often do we convince ourselves that we're in control when somebody else is doing the steering? We as women do it all the time. We constantly carry the weight of others and can't reach the handlebars of life ourselves because we've given control to somebody else. So we go around the block one more time and stop in front of the house. Which brings me to lesson number 3. Do not, under any circumstances, even attempt to ride a motorcycle until you understand its operation and how it works. How many of you know what happens when you let out the clutch? Anybody? Well, for those of you who don't know, when you let out the clutch in a motorcycle or a car, it rolls forward. So I start to let out the clutch. The bike starts to roll forward. It freaks me out. I roll hard on the throttle. The thing shoots out from under me and hits the ground with this horrible crunching sound, and I run off screaming, forget it, I quit, stop the bike! For months, I dreamed about learning how to ride, and the experiences I'd have, the adventures I'd go on. I hopped off, crashed, and quit. But this little voice inside me kept saying, do it again, do it right. So I decided to take a rider training course. I was so excited, I went home and told it to my husband, and he says to me, you are encroaching in a man's world. You belong on the back seat. Can anybody guess what happened to him? No, he's still alive. He's not my husband anymore. But it was at that minute I realized that I was taking a back seat in my own life and letting other people steer my path. I went from the back seat to the front seat of the bike and in my own life and took control of the handlebars of my life. I took the rider training course and passed it. It was almost 17 years ago. Since that time, I've ridden across most of North America and all over Europe. My motorcycle is my meditation. It's my power and my strength. It's that thing that balances life for me and is a great stress reliever. You gotta find that thing in life that balances the scales between work and life. What's your thing? More importantly than finding your thing, you gotta do your thing. See, we as women spend so much time working that we don't take that time to negotiate balance in our lives and nurture ourselves. You gotta do your thing. Turn to the person next to you and say, I'm gonna do my thing. So you guys have a handout there. We're not gonna be able to go over all of this, but these are some great work-life balance tools that you can use for yourself. We have the Go Pink Rules of Engagement, which are great foundational principles for your life. The power questions are things that you can ask yourself. And then there's the Go Pink affirmations, which we're going to go over a little bit. So I want to pink it up a bit with the power of pink. The power of what? Pink. Pink, awesome. Pink's not just a color, it's an attitude. You don't have to wear pink to be pink, because pink comes from within. And in my world, it stands for power, integrity, negotiation, and knowledge. So P is about power. We're talking about connecting women to power here today, right? It's about connecting to your own power and being authentically who you are, taking total control of your life. I is about integrity, making integrity-based decisions with yourself so you can make integrity-based decisions in every area of your life. N is about negotiation, not only becoming an expert in business negotiation, which I teach women how to do, but like we're talking about here today, about work-life balance, negotiating that time to nurture yourself, to do your thing. And then finally, K is for knowledge. Knowledge isn't just about knowing, it's about seeking and constantly growing and expanding. What you're doing here today is you're expanding your knowledge. And I challenge you to do that each and every day of your life.